PIAC decided to embark on a fiscal inspection of projects that the government had allocated money to. So we went to the Upper East, went to the Upper West, and went to the Northern region. So this was a sampling. So we selected 6 projects that we're going to fiscally inspect to see this, the state of the project. So after the 6 projects that we inspected, 3 of them were non-existent. Non-existent in the sense that when we went to the project sites, it just wasn't there. We spoke to the people on the ground, we spoke to the leaders in the community, etc. They confirmed that nothing had been done. Meanwhile, the monies had been allocated, disbursed, but the projects were fiscally not there.
The monies had been allocated, they had actually been disbursed.
That's so.
In the name of these projects.
The name of these projects.
What projects are we talking about here?
So the first one was the rehabilitation of the irrigation dam at Duri in the Jirapa district. So when we spoke to the people there, they informed us that no work had been done there since 1998, right? And so even though that allocated money towards this project, nothing had been done. So the second one was a rehabilitation of an irrigation dam at Nakuri in the one.
Let's understand this, the Duri one first, yes. Rehabilitation of the dam.
Of the dam, yes.
So you went to physically see the site.
You went there?
The dam.
That's so.
And the rehabilitation that was supposed to be done.
That's so.
You confirm that no contractor had been assigned to anything.
The people in the community told us that no work had been done there since 1998.
But a contractor had been appointed to do the work.
That's so.
Okay. So what do? You speak to the people, you try to get to the contractor, and how do you get to confirm with government that that is exactly the location that the project was supposed to be?
Okay, so before we go there, the secretariat, does some groundwork, etc. So we go there, and then we go to the site. So we went to the site. We also spoke with the people in the community. That's okay. So we spoke to the people in the community, we spoke to the community leaders, etc. There was no doubt that we were at the actual location. In respect of the other project, sometimes when we went, we were stunned, we were shocked that there was nothing there. So we had to do a lot of background, like in terms of like talking to community members, etc., to make sure that we're actually at the right place. Because it seemed so shocking that you'd go there and find absolutely nothing. So we spoke to community leaders, etc., who confirmed that you are at the right place. Nothing there.
Do you have a first confirmation from central government as to the exact location and the fact that the monies have indeed been disbursed?
Something first and foremost, the information was information that we got from the Ministry of Finance. Right. So
what is this information you got from Ministry of Finance? Saying what?
Okay. That this amount of money has been allocated towards this project. So what PIAC does is that we go there to do a fiscal inspection of the said project. So the government is very much in the know. After the fiscal inspection, when we came back to Accra, we wrote to the Ministry of Finance that we've been to the Upper West, we've been to the Upper East, we've been to the Northern regions. These are our findings. We went there to do a fiscal inspection. The project was not there. It was non-existent. Could you please respond to our findings? So we wrote this letter dated 4th August 2016 to the Ministry of Finance. We never heard from the Ministry of Finance. So subsequent to that, we're very alarmed by what we saw. And then in our subsequent in feedback from the public, because we do these district engagements, where we go to the district and we speak to the people, trying to get feedback from them, etc. A recurring theme, something that they kept asking us was that, how are we sure that the projects that the government say, they have executed, it's been done? Have we gone there to do a fiscal inspection, etc.? So based upon that feedback...
What you're saying is that the law requires you to do a certain regular interaction with the public.
That is so. It's part of
by telling them how much money has been, taken out of the oil money for specific projects.
Yes, basically how the money has been utilized.
How the money has been utilized.
That's so.
And you have been going to engage the people to explain to them that this is what the money is being used for. Yes. But at that point, you had not gone to do the physical inspection of the project.
That is so.
So you couldn't testify that this project exists.
Yes.
It is they who urged you, and then you began to change your modus operandi to add the phase of going to the projects physically to inspect.
To inspect.
Okay.
Yes.
Take us through these projects first. You've talked about Duri irrigation.
Yes.
Rehabilitation of the dam. Yes. What next?
So the second one was another irrigation dam at Nakori in the Wa municipality. So the municipal chief executive and the community leaders informed us that they were not aware of any such projects. So it was about 15,000 Ghana cedis about which had been disbursed for this project. Again, nothing there. You talk to the community leaders, you talk to the people in the municipality. They tell you, nothing has been done. They informed us that the only work that had been done there was as far back as 2006, and they know nothing about any such projects, So same project, so same story as with the first irrigation dam. So the third one was a 6-unit classroom block at PIAC Islamic Institute. That was in the Tamale Metropolis. So again, PIAC, we go there to go and inspect this project. No such block, So we talked to the authorities there, we talked to the people in the community. They say no such project has been undertaken, right? So this was about, so the money that had been...
You're sure you didn't go to the wrong place?
Yes, we are sure. So like I said, before we go, there's a little groundwork that is done, etc. And again, our reaction was like yours. Are we sure we're in the right place? Because it seemed too shocking, too incredible to believe. Because if you look there, there's nothing there. This thing. So we asked a lot of inquiries, confirmation that we are at the right place. There was even the same, the signs, etc. said PIAC Islamic Institute. We're in Tamale, right there. So he asked, is there any other PIAC Islamic Institute here in Tamale, blah, blah, So this is it, No 6-unit classroom block, So that was it. So the third project, non-existent.
Interesting. When you were putting this, your report out to the public, you suggested that this cost us, or the state, $1.2 billion. Do we understand that to constitute only the 3 projects that you visited?
No.
You visited 6 projects, and it is 3 that were non-existent in the regions in the north.
Yes. It's an amalgamation of different projects, including the street project. So in terms of the street project, you have a situation where we have severe cost overruns. So let's say, for instance, 200,000 Ghana cedis is what is budgeted for a street project. Now, when the project starts, somewhere along the way, it stalls because the money stops coming. So the contractor stops work. So contractor stops work, it could be for like a year, 2 years. He comes back after, let's say, 2 years. When he comes back, first and foremost, the work has deteriorated. So he has to start further back from where he left off. That costs more money. Now, when he's eventually done with the project, because of the delays, etc., the interest which has accrued, the amount has ballooned. So if you look at some of the figures we have here, right? So work done, if you look at the figures in terms of the road projects, for instance, right? So rehabilitation of Anyenaso Setri Dumasi Road, which is in the Ashanti region. The original sum was about 8,900,000. When all was said and done, the total amount came to 37 million. From 8 million, it ballooned all the way to 37 million.
Within what period?
Within the period, so the year of disbursement was 2014. But when it was completed, the cost overrun was 28 million Ghana cedis. If you look at the rehabilitation of the Breman, UGC, and Dote main block, let's look at the upgrading of the Edukrom area roads in Kumasi. In the Ashanti region, 2014. Again, about 3 million Ghana cedis was what the original sum was. When all was said and done, it was about 4.8 million that was expended on the project. So we had a cost overrun of about 1.5 million. If you look at the partial reconstruction of the Trom Junction from the Sumaya Suminya Idumase Pong Road in the eastern region. So the original sum was about 30 million Ghana cedis. The total sum, when all was said and done, was 35 million Ghana cedis. So you had a cost overrun of 4 million Ghana cedis. So if you look at the rehabilitation of the St. Peter's to Third Gate Road in Adentan, the original sum was 4 million. The total certified amount was about 4.3. So you had a slight cost overrun of about 325,000 Ghana cedis. If you look at the rehabilitation of the Chimota Bypass Road to West Legon in the Greater Accra region, the original sum was about 6.5 million Ghana cedis. When all was said and done, the total amount was 7.7 million Ghana cedis. So you had a cost overrun of about 1.1 million Ghana cedis. If you look at the bitumen surfacing of the Tazevu, Devego, Agove Junction feeder roads in the Volta region, the original sum was 13 million Ghana cedis. When all was said and done, it came to 31 million Ghana cedis. So you had a cost overrun of 18 million Ghana cedis. If you look at the bitumen surfacing of the Flaro Town Road and the Kita Area Road in the Volta region, the original sum was 3.1 million Ghana cedis. When all was said and done, 5.6 million Ghana cedis had been expended on the project. So you had a cost overrun of 2.5 million Ghana cedis. If you look at the upgrading of the Eastern Corridor project from Asukuma Junction, Hohoi section, in the Volta region, 105 million was the original sum. When all was said and done, 135 had been expended. So it's a litany of projects where.
So these overruns, have they not been explained, or you are just not satisfied? Are these not natural occurrences in the construction industry?
No.
Or built industry?
No, I'm saying. You see, when we go on site, we talk to the project engineer, we talk to the those involved in the project, etc. A common complaint that ran across with virtually all the road projects was the fact that monies which were supposed to be paid to them, it was not paid at the time it was supposed to be paid. So if you do that, then definitely you are going to have these cost overruns. So one advice, which basically virtually all the field engineers, etc., communicated to us, before you start any road project, you must ensure that you have the money, to complete the project. And that if you have these breaks, then they're definitely going to be cost overruns.
So it means this has been explained to you?
Yes, it was explained to us. That was the delays, was the stalling the projects that caused these huge cost overruns. So that was one. Another thing that, they communicated to us was that if you are going to do a project, all the ancillary things, let's say the road markings, the gutters, etc., you must put all that, in one contract. You don't do the road and then go and give a contract to some other person to come and do the road markings or the gutters, etc. That all the ancillary things must be done at once. And that it's cheaper. It's more cost efficient. It's a much more prudent way of executing the project.
Okay. So these are, about how many 9 projects that you refer to, road projects, where there were cost overruns. But he's also taking us to 3 projects that were simply non-existent.
Yes.
The monies that were voted for those projects, how much for each of those projects? The Duri and the other one, the 3 dams. So how much was this to cost?
So Duri was roughly about 52,000. Nakuri was about 15,000. And then the 6-unit classroom block at Farakia was about 30,000.
Okay.